Sup, my dudes, Valk here, and today I'm going to be talking about ASTDx and what they can do to improve. I need to upload because I haven't uploaded in forever, and I don't want to get kicked out of the partner program with YouTube, so I need to upload something, right? So I figure one thing I could do is go to these tower defenses that are currently either losing players or stagnating or whatever, and kind of just give them advice. Giving advice is something that I apparently am very quite good at. If you guys don't know, I am a developer for Anime Vanguards, based off of just having ideas. Like that's effectively what it is. Is I am used for my brain and my brain alone, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about ASTDx. This is my second time recording this, but first time was just full of way too much yap. I'm going to try to condense my arguments, or not my arguments, but my points, and try to condense them and try to point out pain points, at least from my perspective, and my knowledge of the scene and what people really want, etc. So, step one, new user experience. I think the new user experience for ASTDx is a little too rough. Basically, you need to, as a new user, you have to play the game until you can get like 5 stars or mythics or whatever they're called in this game. I think they're just called 5 stars, yeah. So until you can get 5 stars, and then once you get 5 stars, you can start looking to doing trials, etc. But I know from playing that gym gain, this stuff, Chrono Crystal, whatever they want to call it, I don't know what they call it in this game. It's rough. So if you're a new player, your ability to play the game feels very luck based. Because yes, you can take 3 stars and evolve them into 5 stars. But to clear those trials, a lot of times you already need like stronger units. And also you would have to know prior to clear those trials. So if we assume a new player knows nothing, then how are they supposed to know to go tackle these trials to get these units up? In fact, there's literally nothing other than the question mark over their head that tells you to, hey, interact with this NPC and you get something. But the very first time a new player is going to interact with that NPC, do the quest, it's going to be way too hard for them. They're not going to attempt it thinking that they need a stronger team, but the way they get a stronger team is by doing those quests. So it's kind of counterintuitive to the points of a new player, right? So I think one of the things ASTDx, for some reason, I don't know why they push it so hard, the game is too difficult for new players, and it makes the new player experience rough. It really does. So that's one thing. I think the new player experience is not very good for ASTDx. I think new players have a really hard time getting into the game, and that's one of the reasons why the game has really slowed down on growth and slowed down on new players. So that's just one thing. Another point is the trait reliance in this game versus trait gain. So the only way you can really gain traits here is through going through challenges. If you go to challenges, you can farm up traits through doing expert challenges, and there is certain ones that will give you traits. Stat dice. Stat dice? I guess this is an all stat dice hour. Well, it's not guaranteed, but you get the idea. Here you can see trait burner right here. Trait burner from the daily. And that is going to make it so people feel the game is super, super pay to win. You can see, like, just to illustrate my point, you can see during this challenge cycle, there's literally no rerolls that you can grind. So there's no consistent way to get rerolls. Even event shops. I wonder how much event shops have. Let's see. So here, summer shop, you can get 100 trait burners. Okay, so this is very similar to AV and how the shops work. Trial shop, you can get up to 30, 50, 50. So you can get up to 130 through that. This is the AFK mode, and then through this Mafia shop, you get up to 100. So you can get up to 330 trait burners by completing these events in these shops. As far as how good it is, I don't even think you can do this anymore. Yeah, I think this event's gone. I think so, right? Like, I'm not crazy. Summer is gone, ain't it? Yeah, summer's gone. Yeah. So, you can't even get that anymore. So you can only get up to 230 trait burners. And the actual rate at which you can get all-star units isn't too bad. It's only point, was it 0.2, I think? Trait reroll, trait index, 0.2. So it's like double the rates of other games, but other games also give you more rerolls. Whereas this game, while the rerolls are very cheap, you still have to buy them if you really, really want to contend with stuff. And that's going to turn a lot of players away because, like I said, the difficulty in this game is going to make you feel like you need All-Star, except for the traitless trial modes. A lot of people will be like, you don't need All-Star for those. But the thing is those are very long grinds that are very difficult stages, and people just simply don't want to do that. People want to have a very chill, casual experience. They don't want to be going through a story mode getting clapped because they don't have a very specific coloring, or they don't have the funny all-star trait on their unit. So that's another thing that's turning people down or turning people away, is the reliance on all-star in this game and the difficulty overall. Those are two things I think need to change. Difficulty is fine whenever it's used sparingly or in short grinds. However, the way it is now, it's just not good. It's not good at all. So it's a lot of the old school ASTD design style, which I don't know if you guys played old school ASTD, but old school ASTD, whenever a new update would come out, basically the update was unplayable for like a week or so until they nerfed it, because it was just extremely difficult to the point of being unfun to where nobody actually wanted to play it. So whenever they would get enough backlash, they would just nerf it down till the backlash stopped. But that doesn't work in today's society or today's community game, whatever you want to call it, today's meta, because the meta now is casual play. A lot of people like to just chill and just grind stuff, and that's it. That's what you have to adhere to, because having players play your game is nice. So doing things that make them want to play your game is also very, very nice. So yeah, that's one thing. Difficulty. We talked about difficulty traits, etc. Currency income. How terrible the currency income is. I know why they did it, and I think it's actually incredibly intelligent why they did it. The currency income, because they made traits super cheap, but they made it expensive to actually buy gems. So they made it so your gem gain is bad, but then they made a ton, and I do mean a ton of Robux off of people buying gems, because gems is a recurring purchase. It's pretty smart because that is the currency you use to get characters. However, that being the monetization scheme means that the average player suffers because the average player is not spending a ton of Robux to go ahead and get gems. So because the average player is suffering and not having a good time, they're just simply not going to play. Like, straight up, they're just not going to play the game. So I think the currency obtainment needs to be improved. I think there needs to be more reoccurring things to do during an update cycle, because the way they have it set up also is basically older players. So here's the contrasting thing I've been building up to, basically. Whenever they drop a new update, whenever it comes to evolving units, older players can instantly evolve the units. Well, they also added new things. Like, this is perfect. I just pulled Stark, so I get to show you exactly what I mean. They added these things whenever you go to Ascend now, to where you have to do like 500 eliminations or whatever, right? You have to do these mundane tasks, so just to try to buy time, because they recognize this next point I'm about to bring, but I don't think that's a good solution. Whenever they would drop an update, a new unit would come out, and you could ascend the unit and like instantly. Like, if we go look on older units, they added the 500 elims to all of them. Oh, they retroactively added it to everything. They did. That's really bad. So many people are going to be upset about that. Well, probably were upset about that. So basically, in an attempt to fix this problem, they did a really, really haphazard fix. Because there's not really, as far as I know, any real limit to what you can have for these XP ones. Like, you can just hold as many as you can. There might be a limit. I'm just unaware of it. So older players can grind up a ton of them. So whenever they drop a new update, they can evolve the new units instantly after completing the little mundane tasks of like 500 elims, whatever. While new players, they can't mess with the units at all because they don't have the resources. They don't have the ability to do the task. So they're just kind of left in the water. So you create this weird middle ground to where there's this massive disconnect between older players and newer players, basically, right? So it's something a lot of ATDs have. It's a big issue a lot of ATDs have, and the actual fix to it is kind of rough. But you really just need to introduce ways for new players to be able to grind out the new units without actually suffering from, or without actually harming your overall player base, while also not punishing people who already pre-grinded. Like, them having all the materials isn't an issue. It's the fact that they can beat the update in 5 seconds. And the counter to that, or the fix to that, really is something like a segmented release of content, to where, let's say you have an update of like 6 units, right? You drop the update, you drop maybe 3 units. Then after a week goes by, you drop another unit. And then a week goes by, you drop 2 more units to keep people interested. That way people constantly, every week, have something to look forward to, something to play. You could even do something like the event system within AV, to where like the event system itself basically makes it so you always have something to look forward to every day. There's always some thing, and the thing is, with these types of events, they have to be short, which brings me into my next point, is that ASTDX's grinds are too long. Straight up, the trials are very difficult, and they take a very long time, and they're just simply too long. Nobody wants to do them. And that's one of the reasons why the game started dying whenever they kept releasing trials. That's another reason why the game is dying right now whenever they release Diavolo, because even though people like Diavolo, even though people like the Unbound Diavolo, people don't want to grind the event because it's tedious and it takes a lot of time. So that's basically it. I think I covered everything. I probably missed some points that I'd have to actually sit down, make a list, and think about, but I don't feel like doing all that. I'm gonna be real. I'm mostly just uploading this just so YouTube doesn't boot me out of the content program. But this would also give me a good opportunity to educate some people about pain points within games like this and how to fix them somewhat. Right? I don't think I gave away too much. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you guys ask me anything about AV, or you say, hey, Valk, add this in AV, I'm literally going to ignore the comment. Just letting you know that right now. I'm not I'm not answering that. But anything else about like stuff with ASTD, or if I missed anything, just let me know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.